All right. Well, as promised, I have a structured talk today. I have made a few notes. I have a cheat sheet here on my left, and hopefully, I'm going to get something out there that I wanted to instead of just a few minutes of rambling. So, as I was getting ready for this, I kept looking at everything in this shot, and I'm just like, oh, is that nice? Is this nice? Is that perfect? And it falls right into what I want to talk about because I was wondering, do I want everything in this shot to be perfect for me or for you, or because somebody is going to expect that this little video diary thing I got going on should be more set up and more structured, like magazine style or like, you know, perfect. And, you know, I'm victim of the same thing. I'm guilty of the same thing that I want to talk about. And basically what I want to talk about today is people following in celebrity footsteps, so to speak, and being programmed by magazines and that type of thing. So what we see is on TV, it's in magazines, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram and Pinterest and Twitter, and holy crap, we have so much social pressure on us because we have so much information from other sources and we have so much feedback from people who quite honestly don't have the right to give us feedback, and yet they do because we gave them that right by putting ourselves out there. So what I'm getting at is, why do celebrities and people out there on YouTube and everywhere else have the right to form our thoughts, to influence our lives? Why are so many kids choosing what they wear, what they say, their political opinions, and their ethical decisions based on what Taylor Swift says, or what Beyonce does, or what Nicki Minaj is rapping about? Why? And I think it's a really huge problem because nobody's being taught that it's okay to do things that you want to do because you want to do them and because you feel that they're the right thing to do. And what it really boils down to is that I don't think people are teaching our younger generation how to think for themselves and how to feel for themselves. They have access to so much information. We all do, really. And it's not just the children, it's not just a certain generation. It's grown-ups, it's moms, it's dads, it's business people, it's everybody out there that thinks they're behaving the way they should be behaving, that think they're behaving the way their neighbors think they should be and their bosses think they should be. And in certain situations, I suppose that's true because you have to act a certain way when you go to work. You have to do a certain thing when you're at your kid's school. You know, you have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be not socially acceptable, but the word is fleeting to my brain. It's not coming to me. But overall, I find it really sad that so many people are afraid to just say, I'm doing this because this feels good to me. And I'm doing this because this feels right to me. Or I'm not going to do that because it's wrong and I know it. Or, you know, that type of thing. Like, why is it so hard for people to just think for themselves? To just sit back, take in the information that's out there, and then ponder on that for a little bit. Think about it. You have a brain. You have this awesome tool right up here that can do so many things. You have this awesome tool right in here that leads you in the right direction. And it's for a purpose, it's for a reason. And there's so many people out there that don't follow their instincts. There's so many people out there that don't follow their heart. And it's just so sad to me. There's so much peace and joy in abundance in the world. And people are basing their life decisions on celebrities, on politicians, on keeping up with the Joneses next door. And people are judging themselves based on what they don't have in comparison to all those other people who have a completely different situation, a completely different life. So, in my notes, I wanted to talk about my kids because, I mean, everybody says this. They think their kids are so different than anybody else's, but I truly know that my children are very different than the mass population, I guess. I don't know a better way to put that. My children have been taught from a very young age to follow their heart, to dream big, to do what they know is right in the core of their being, to stand up for someone that is being wronged, no matter whether they know that person, no matter what situation they're in. They think, and they're genuine people, and they have a mind of their own. I'm not saying they're perfect. Nobody's perfect. We are all human beings. We are not robots out there in this world just following our subscript code. We're people. We're imperfect. And that's what makes this place so great. I'm so proud of my children for thinking the way that they do and picking up on these lessons that we have tried to instill in them. I am so proud of my children for being able to genuinely put out their feelings and pick up on other people's feelings the way that they're saying they feel. They can see emotions on people's faces. They can sense something's wrong. They can sense something's good. They are truly genuine. They don't put out there what they don't want to get back. And that's, again, we're human and we're imperfect. So we all have blow-ups. We all make mistakes. But they learn from their mistakes also. They have fallen victim to following certain trends or picking out a certain pair of shoes or listening to a certain type of music. But I don't really consider that victim kind of thing. I consider that they have thought about it and they decided that they like it based on how they feel. And the reason I think that is because my kids don't listen to music just because their friends think it's cool. They've never been that way. I had the first second grader who knew songs like Smoke on the Water and that kind of thing. The first song that my son ever sang in the car. I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, you know? I mean, he didn't, I don't know where I'm going with that last statement, but they think for themselves and they're genuine people, and I'm proud of them for that. So coming back to another point that I wanted to make is that I had made a note that parents are failing the future generations. And that's not entirely true. I mean, it kind of is because so many people are so separated from their lives. And that means that they're separated from their children's lives, their neighbors' lives, and they're very just self-centered and they think about what's good for them. But it's not just parents that are guilty of that. Our communities are guilty of that. We're more concerned with what things look like in a photograph on the gram than we are with what's truly going on under our own roofs and right next door and down the street. And does anybody really take the time to get to know their mailman anymore? Their mail woman? Does anybody take the time to send out a Christmas greeting to their trash guy? That came up because my trash guy actually left us a Christmas card, and that was so freaking cool. I just loved that. Never seen him face to face. He just comes by every week and picks up the trash can and empties it for me, puts it back in the yard. We do it all over again Sunday, drag the can out, pick it up. And he thought about leaving us a Christmas card. I mean, it's tiny things like that that really, really get to me. And I don't think that he did it because he's going to post it on social media and say, oh my God, I sent Christmas cards to all my trash customers. No. So, I think some people are exposed to too much information. And maybe they're not exposed to too much information. Maybe they're not given the tools to filter through the information that is out there, and maybe they just don't know how to decide what's good for someone else, what's good for me, what's right for someone else, what's right for me. Maybe they just don't have that that little thing that they need, which is actually a super big thing, by the way. And so that's where the failure comes in. We are modeling for not just kids. We're not just modeling behavior for our children. We're not just modeling behavior for the younger generation. We're modeling behavior for each other. We're modeling behavior for our sisters and our brothers and our mothers and our fathers. Because people always say, oh, somebody can't change. People don't change, you know, the same old dog, the same old tricks, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. People change. People grow and they change. And it takes a lot to change. You have to be mentally aware of what you're doing. And you have to consciously make the decision to change what you're doing. But people are aware and people can change. And you can teach an old dog new tricks. That's the point. So then it comes around to this thing that I've always told my kids. Don't fail yourself. Don't fail yourself. Do what you know is right. Do what you feel is right. Deep down in the core of your being, you know what's up. You have instincts for a reason. There's a weird little feeling in your gut, and it's for a good reason. It's because people aren't just these bodies walking around in the world. We are energy, and we are all empathic in a way, and we're all sending out and taking in these messages from the universe. And you need to know how to filter through that. And you need to just follow your heart, follow your gut, and think about things. We're strong. We are so strong, individually and collectively. So I've also told them in certain situations, you know, their friends are doing something or whatever, and they don't want to because they know it's not right. Well, guess what? You can choose to explain yourself and say why you don't do those things or why you do those things. Or you cannot explain yourself. You don't have to. You owe no one an explanation for your life. You choose to do what is right, and you can just do it and go about your merry way. Or you can put your thoughts out there in the world and hopefully help someone or change a situation. And that's fine. I do what I do because I feel like it's right for me. And you do what you do because you feel like it's right for you. I have no power over what you do. I have power over what I do, though, and I'll do it, and I'll be happy about it. And guess what? If I do something that I'm not happy about, it's a lesson. I've learned that I don't like that, and I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to be around other people who do it, and I'm not going to encourage other people to do it. So another thing that I've always told my kids, feed the good wolf. And the first time that I ever said this to them, they were so young. But my children, I feel like we've spoken to them and we've loved them and we've just enriched them with this sense of knowing things and this sense of being able to pick up on things. And I don't even really know how to put that into words, but they look at me like I'm crazy. Sometimes they really like these deep things that I say to them and they're just like, wow. And other times they're just like, oh, Mom. You know, it's just these cliche sayings that you use all the time. So anyway, feed the good wolf. And what that means is that inside every person, there's a good wolf and there's a bad wolf. And they're both constantly fighting for the power to control you. So what you can do is to know that this is going on inside you. Every being is capable of good and evil, completely. And how you take that and how you give that power is what's going to happen to you. If you let resentments and hate and disappointment and things like that build up inside of you and be you, then obviously the bad wolf is going to win because you're feeding him. That's what he needs. That's what he wants. And eventually, the evil takes over, and then it is so hard to change from there. Change is possible. Change is always possible. But if you feed the good wolf, and you're open to the opportunities in life, and you know that you're taking care of yourself, and taking care of your community, and putting love and gratitude and joy out into the world, you're feeding the good wolf. And eventually, the good wolf is what wins. And the good wolf is what leads you. And then that's good. That's excellent. That's what you want. It's always there. The battle's always there. That good wolf is not going to kill the bad wolf and make it go away. But you have to keep feeding the good wolf. And sometimes the bad wolf gets a scrap. When you're pissed off, when you're vengeful, when you're resentful. So I think that's what has been rolling around in my brain, Inside the Mind of Nomi, episode 4. And I think it's really important. And it's not just one of those things that you can read on Facebook or see on Instagram or whatever and just let it go away. It's one of those things that you really need to keep in the back of your mind at all times. Like, seriously, at all times. You always have to be conscious of your actions. You always have to be conscious of your feelings. If you're not conscious of your feelings, you won't know that your heart is telling you to go path A and other sources are telling you to go path B. If you're not conscious of you and your feelings and everything else, then you won't know that your gut is trying to tell you to do something that you really need to do. You won't be open to the doors. You won't be able to see that a certain area is closed off for you and you shouldn't go there. You won't be able to pick up on these things. And I guess what I came out with to begin with was that we just take way too much information of what other people are doing for granted. Okay, so I'm not putting you guys down. If you want to wear makeup because it makes you feel awesome and you do it for yourself, go for it. Rock on with your bad self. If you don't wear makeup because that's how you're comfortable and that's what makes you feel good about yourself, awesome. Who am I to judge you? But if you're wearing makeup that's pinpoint perfect and the perfect lighting and the perfect outfit and you're going broke because your house is too expensive or you've decorated too many times because Home and Living or Martha Stewart or something has told you to do it and you think that's what you're supposed to be doing, then you're doing it wrong. It's wrong. You do what you feel the need to do. You do what you want to do. You don't do what the other sources of information are telling you to do. You don't vote on somebody in a political office because Kanye is voting for that person. You don't make your ethical decisions based on somebody else's reason or point of view. You do it for you. So stop following all the crap that's out there and you just believe what you believe. You do what you know is right and you follow your gut. Don't fail yourself. Don't be fake. Don't do something that you know is wrong down in your core. Explain it if you want. Don't if you don't. And feed the good wolf. Don't let that bad wolf take over. And that's all I got for today, ladies and gents. I love you all. Bye-bye.